Roller coasters are often hailed as the ultimate thrill machines, offering heart-stopping drops, dizzying loops, and adrenaline-pumping speeds. But for all their engineered perfection, there have been moments when these towering rides of steel and wood have failed catastrophically. Throughout history, roller coaster accidents have left a trail of shock and sorrow, claiming lives and shattering the illusion of safety. In this chilling exploration, we delve into the 15 worst roller coaster accidents in human history, a haunting reminder of the risks that come with the thrill. Let's begin with number 15. Luan Phi Dawson, Columbia Ride, Disneyland. When you think of Disneyland, you imagine magic, laughter, and overpriced snacks, not a flying metal cleat causing chaos. But on December 24, 1998, at Disneyland's sailing ship Columbia, a poorly secured metal cleat turned a joyful day into a nightmare. As the ship docked, the cleat broke free, hitting 3 people. Among them was 33-year-old Luan Phi Dawson, who tragically succumbed to head injuries. His wife, Lu Wong, sustained serious facial injuries requiring surgery, while an employee, Christine Carpenter, suffered a badly injured leg. Here's the catch. The cleat wasn't secured with proper straps but a cheap rope. Apparently, park management thought saving a few bucks was a great idea, until it wasn't. Investigations revealed the ship was also moving too fast for the flimsy rope to handle. Disneyland paid a $25 million settlement, but the sailing ship Columbia hasn't sailed since. Even Mickey can't fix bad decisions like that. Number 14. Tegan Martys' near-fatal leap. 12-year-old Tegan Martys' dream adventure turned into a life-altering tragedy at Wisconsin Dells Extreme World in 2010. After convincing her parents to visit the park, she prepared for the terminal velocity free-fall ride, a 30-meter plunge into a safety net. But in a horrific mistake, the operator released her before the net was in place. Tegan plummeted onto concrete, suffering severe injuries, including a broken spine and pelvis, head trauma, and internal damage. Doctors doubted she'd ever walk again. Against all odds, after months of critical care and therapy, Tegan defied expectations, walking with a walker 17 months later. The operator, Charles Carnell, was charged with reckless injury, and the incident raised alarms about the dangers of cost-cutting in safety measures. Tegan's story of resilience continues to inspire, even as it underscores the critical need for stricter amusement park safety regulations. Number 13. Tyrie Samson. You're on a towering roller coaster ride, the wind in your face, laughter echoing around you. The thrill builds, adrenaline surges, and the drop begins. But then, something unimaginable happens. A rider is hurled out of their seat in mid-air. Sounds impossible, right? Well, tragically, it's not. On March 24, 2022, 14-year-old Tyrie Samson, visiting Icon Park in Orlando with his football team, faced a horrific fate. The boys decided to try the Orlando Free Fall, the tallest freestanding drop tower in the world at 131 meters. But what should have been a day of excitement turned into tragedy. As the ride reached the top and began its rapid descent, Tyrie slipped from his seat and fell to the ground. The 8th grader died instantly. Investigators later discovered his safety belt was dangerously loose, nearly twice as slack as it should have been, due to negligence by the ride operator. The incident led to the shutdown of the Orlando Free Fall and its adjacent rides, with the manufacturer halting production entirely. Tyrie's father, represented by attorney Ben Crump, called the decision long overdue. The tragedy served as a chilling reminder that thrill rides can come at a devastating cost when safety measures fail. Number 12. Lindsay Zeno. Roller coasters promise thrills, but no one signs up for what happened on July 11, 2010, at Blue Bayou Water Park in Louisiana. 21-year-old Lindsay Zeno boarded the Extreme Coaster, a ride that had been in operation for 3 years. Midway through the ride, Lindsay fell from a height of 9 meters and succumbed to her injuries shortly after. Witnesses reported that Lindsay appeared to struggle with her safety harness as the coaster took a sharp turn, flinging her into the air. Despite thorough inspections by Louisiana State Fire Marshal Butch Browning, no mechanical faults were found in the ride. However, the tragedy raised serious questions about safety procedures. The extreme coaster was permanently shut down after the incident. For many, this heartbreaking event serves as a sobering reminder that even the best-maintained rides require strict safety protocols to prevent avoidable loss of life. All right, now, let's move to Number 11. The tragic incident of Asia Lesan Ferguson. In 2015, a devastating accident unfolded at Six Flags Over Georgia when 17-year-old Asia Lesan Ferguson lost his life in a tragic roller coaster mishap. Asia, hailing from Springfield, jumped 2 tall fences to enter a restricted area, ignoring warning signs. Reports suggest he was either retrieving a hat lost during the ride or attempting a risky prank on passengers. Tragically, as he stepped into the danger zone, a roller coaster car struck him at a speed of 80 km/h, leading to instant decapitation. Witnesses were horrified, and the incident highlighted glaring safety concerns. Six Flags temporarily closed the ride as a mark of respect for Asia's family, but resumed operations the next day. Despite this tragedy, it wasn't the park's first fatality. Such incidents continue to raise questions about amusement park safety protocols and the consequences of venturing into restricted zones. Number 10. Rosie Esparza. In 2013, a roller coaster ride at Six Flags Over Texas turned into a nightmare for Rosie Esparza. Rosie boarded the Texas Giant with visible concern about her safety restraint, only to be reassured by the operator. However, during a sharp turn, her restraint failed. She was flung 23 meters into the air, landing fatally on a tunnel roof, all while her horrified daughter looked on. The tragedy sparked an investigation, and the ride was briefly shut down for safety upgrades. Rosie's family sued Six Flags and Gerstlauer, the coaster's manufacturer, leading to a confidential settlement. The case exposed serious lapses in safety checks and accountability. While the ride reopened with updated restraints, the emotional scars left on Rosie's family remain a stark reminder of the risks amusement parks pose when safety protocols fail. Number 9. Mindbender, Fantasyland. The 1986 Mindbender disaster proved that even an indoor coaster can be utterly terrifying. Fantasyland's triple-loop steel roller coaster was the crown jewel of West Edmonton Mall until June 14, 1986. Just one day after a provincial safety inspector declared it perfectly safe, the ride's rear car began fishtailing during a 60 mph turn, disrupting the train's balance. It managed to navigate the first 2 loops but derailed before the third, stalling and sliding backward into a concrete pillar. The horrific accident claimed 3 lives and left 15 others injured, some seriously. Investigators discovered missing bolts in the wheel assembly were to blame. The Mindbender was shut down for months, undergoing extensive modifications including anti-rollback systems, headrests, seatbelts, and fewer cars per train. Despite reopening briefly with these upgrades, the ride's reputation never recovered, leading to its eventual closure. The tragedy left Fantasyland with a grim reminder of the high stakes involved in amusement park safety. Number 8. Big Dipper, Krug Park. On July 24, 1930, Omaha's Krug Park hosted what became the deadliest roller coaster accident in U.S. history. The Big Dipper, once a thrilling attraction, turned deadly when a piece of its braking system broke loose, jamming the wheels of one car. The train derailed, crashing through a guardrail and plummeting 35 feet to the ground. The coaster's lift chain continued running, pushing the remaining cars over the edge. The chaos left 4 dead and 19 injured, with some pinned beneath the wreckage. Investigations confirmed mechanical failure as the cause. Public confidence in Krug Park evaporated after the disaster, and business dwindled until the park closed in 1940. Years later, the site was transformed into Gallagher Park, now home to a pool and ball field, but no roller coasters. This tragedy serves as a reminder that even the most popular attractions can become deadly when safety measures fall short. Let's move to number 7. Rough Riders, Coney Island. Coney Island's Rough Riders, a roller coaster inspired by Theodore Roosevelt's cavalry regiment, proved to be anything but heroic on July 27, 1915. The ride, originally called Drop the Dip, gained momentum as 6 passengers prepared for a thrilling descent. But as the train shot down an incline and into a sharp turn, it derailed, flipping onto its side and throwing riders into an iron railing 30 feet above the ground. 3 people tragically fell to their deaths, while 2 others clung to the wreckage until police rescued them. A bystander on the ground was injured when struck by the driver's body. Witnesses blamed excessive speed for the derailment, though jurors eventually cleared the ride manager of homicide, deeming the accident unavoidable. Despite its chilling reputation, Rough Riders remained in operation for years. This incident highlights the importance of stringent speed controls and safety standards on high-speed coasters, even in their early designs. Number 6. Darby Racer, Revere Beach. Revere Beach's roller coaster wasn't just thrilling, it was deadly. Built for competitive fun, the coaster featured parallel tracks where 2 trains raced side by side. Unfortunately, its abysmal safety record overshadowed the excitement. In June 1911, the coaster company's treasurer fell and died while ironically lecturing passengers about safety. It was the 2nd fatality of the year, prompting officials to demand improved safety restraints. However, accidents persisted. In 1917, a passenger fell while trying to retrieve his hat and was hit by an oncoming train, breaking nearly every bone in his body. Despite the mounting fatalities, the ride continued operating until 1936 when it was demolished, not because of its reputation, but simply to make way for a newer version of the Darby Racer. This grim chapter in amusement park history serves as a chilling reminder of how even the most innovative designs can turn deadly without proper safety measures in place. Number 5. Nancy Jones, Old Indiana Fun Park. Trains are supposed to be charming, not catastrophic, but at Old Indiana Fun Park on August 11, 1996, the mini train proved otherwise. The ride derailed, overturning and crushing its passengers. 4-year-old Emily Hunt was left paralyzed from the chest down, and her grandmother, Nancy Jones, didn't survive. The investigation uncovered a shocking laundry list of negligence. The train was speeding beyond its limit of 19 kilometers per hour, the brakes failed, anti-derailment devices were missing, and debris littered the tracks. To make matters worse, the inspector who cleared the ride admitted he wasn't qualified, and records showed the train had derailed 79 times in 2 months. The park's reputation plummeted, leading to bankruptcy and the auctioning of most rides. This disaster remains a grim lesson in how neglecting safety measures can result in devastating consequences, proving that even the simplest rides require meticulous oversight. Number 4. James Hackimer. On July 9, 2011, James Hackimer, an Iraq War veteran, visited Darien Lake Amusement Park in New York, seeking a brief escape from life's struggles. A triple amputee after a devastating 2008 explosion in Iraq, James was determined to experience the thrill of a roller coaster again. But the steel coaster ride he boarded was ill-prepared for his unique condition. Unable to secure a safety belt, ride operators placed James in the front car, advising him to grip the front barrier. It was a decision that would prove fatal. During a sharp turn at 80 kilometers per hour, James was thrown from his seat. He died instantly, leaving his family devastated. His kid, thankfully, was not present during the accident, but his sister Jody later reflected that the brief moments on the ride may have been the happiest James had felt in years. The investigation ruled operator error as the cause, and the ride reopened months later, highlighting the dangerous gaps in amusement park safety standards. Number 3. Topscan, Adventureland, 2005. Adventureland in Long Island boasted a stellar 43-year safety record until 2005 shattered it. First, a park employee tragically died while working near the Ladybug, a children's roller coaster. Days later, disaster struck again when a female rider was ejected from her seat on the Topscan, a windmill-like thrill ride, and hurled 25 feet into the air. She landed outside the park, crashing into a car in the parking lot. Eyewitnesses described the horrifying scene, suggesting that the woman's safety harness wasn't secured or malfunctioned entirely. Although the Topscan had never been involved in prior incidents, the tragic accident raised serious questions about Adventureland's safety protocols. Investigators pointed to the possibility of improper harness operation, but no definitive cause was announced. The tragedy served as a sobering reminder that even a perfect safety record doesn't guarantee protection against rare failures. Number 2. Fujin Ren 2, Expoland, 2007. May 5, 2007 should have been a joyous Children's Day in Osaka, Japan, but at Expoland, tragedy overshadowed the celebrations. On the Fujin Ren 2 roller coaster, designed for standing riders, 20 passengers embarked on what seemed to be a routine thrill ride. The 6-car train reached speeds of 47 km/h as it raced through its 0.65-mile course. But midway through, the second car derailed, tilting violently to the left. As the coaster barreled down the tracks, a young woman struck her head on the guardrail, suffering fatal injuries. The ride screeched on for another 300 meters, emitting a horrific scraping sound before finally coming to a halt. According to Expoland's operator, a broken wheel axle was responsible for the accident. The issue might have been caught during the ride's annual maintenance, but these repairs didn't occur in 2007. The park claimed it didn't have enough space to disassemble and inspect the cars. Expoland closed in 2009, 1.6 billion yen in debt, thanks in large part to declining ticket sales in the wake of the coaster accident. Number 1. Big Dipper disaster. Roller coasters are meant to exhilarate, not devastate. But in 1972, Battersea Park's Big Dipper became the site of the deadliest roller coaster accident in history. 5 kids lost their lives, and 13 others were severely injured when the ride's haulage rope snapped during an ascent, causing carriages to derail. 14-year-old Carolyn Adamczyk survived the crash, but was haunted by the terror-stricken faces of those who didn't. The wooden coaster's lack of maintenance was a key factor. The snapped rope sent carriages crashing into fences and a stationary train in the boarding zone. The ride was left in ruins, and the park shut down 2 years later. This tragedy underscored the risks of aging wooden coasters, which require constant upkeep to remain safe. For many, the Big Dipper disaster serves as a chilling reminder that even the smallest oversight can lead to catastrophic consequences. Battersea's charm couldn't outlast the haunting legacy of this tragic ride. Moral of the story? If your coaster sounds like it's falling apart, it probably is. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.